Well, hello again there, YouTube. It's Petey Two Finger. This video, we're going to be talking about Mr. Bungle, specifically the Raging Wrath of the Easter Bunny, the Mr. Bungle Reunion, the version of the band with Dave Lombardo and Scott Ian. So, if you're unfamiliar with the history, this is a band that was signed to Warner Brothers, major label. They had 3 albums on Warner Brothers that were all bizarre, very different from one another, but excellent albums that have a reputation of being some of the finest weird or underground music that's on a major label. And I have to second that. It is. Mr. Bungle is my favorite band. Now, I had made a video a few years back, Mr. Bungle fans are the worst, which was a tongue-in-cheek, but at the same time, a lot of the things that I said is about a specific type of underground music fan or hipster that I really don't jive with. No, nobody likes a hipster. Let's be honest with ourselves. These people, they have a typical small group of friends that they hang out with, and they laugh at the normies, and they have their own little internet presence, and they're just undesirable people that wear thin. They'll wear you out in a hurry. And more recently, Mr. Bungle did this reunion. They put together a super group, calling in a thrash drummer, Dave Lombardo, the guy from Slayer, and then another second guitar player, being Scott Ian. And these were their influences. They were into thrash metal, so they were listening to bands like Slayer, listening to bands like Anthrax when they recorded The Raging Wrath of the Easter Bunny, which is their first demo. And I believe they finalized this on their Easter break from high school. They were in high school when they did this. They recorded it on a cassette machine. I believe it was a 4-track recorder. It might have been an 8-track. Like it was a 4-track. And they titled it The Raging Wrath of the Easter Bunny simply because it was recorded on Easter break, and that demo tape is a really low quality. It's kind of like there are drums on the tape, but you can barely hear them. It's really guitar and vocal. But that tape made the rounds. Back in the tape trading scene, Mr. Bungle made their first splash with this tape. And when they were considering doing a reunion, this is what came up. Should we go back, do the most messed up reunion possible, which would be do the first stuff, do the thrash metal, and do it right this time. Now, in the meantime, COVID, the lockdowns, like they did like one. They did just a handful of shows, and then the world was locked down. Now, they did this thing called The Night They Came Home, and Rambos must be accompanied by guardian or priest. They did this. Night They Came Home was a pro camera shoot of these guys performing The Raging Wrath of the Easter Bunny and some covers in its entirety on a soundstage that was made to look like it was the library, the Eureka, California library. And that's really good. If you're a Mr. Bungle fan and you haven't checked out the new stuff yet, the best version of that is this, The Night They Came Home. It was a pay-per-view thing, and I screen grabbed, so I have a 1080p copy for myself, and it's really good. It's excellent. Now, a lot of time has passed. Mike Patton had some psychological issues and he went and got help. They canceled a bunch of stuff. Faith No More canceled stuff. Mr. Bungle canceled stuff. And basically the other members were standing behind Mike saying we're patiently waiting and we're being supportive of him. And I think the issue was Patton couldn't handle the idea of touring during COVID because he didn't want to get sick. He didn't want to die of COVID. And I don't blame him. I don't blame him. I can't imagine wanting to go out there and do that, to travel like that. Even now, it's just, you know, as at my age, thinking about doing that job wouldn't exactly be easy for me as a 56-year-old with a back injury. So yeah, they have been in this mode for a while, but they didn't deliver anything, and now they started touring again. And there's been some negativity in the comment sections, okay? Now, this negativity, I don't think any of it is really coming from people who have attended any of the shows. If you look at the reviews for the shows, they're all really good. The reviews are all excellent. But in the comments section, you'll see somebody claiming to be at the show saying the only time people got any kind of enthusiastic was when they played My Ass Is on Fire. Which I gotta tell you, I went and watched, one of them is gone. I went and watched 2 full shows of this recent tour. This one from Terminal 5 in New York City is excellent. That is not correct at all. People were flipping out. They were applauding and going nuts through the entire show. They were responding to everything. Because as they've continued to play this stuff, they've gotten tighter with it. And it's incredible. This music they're performing is not easy music to perform. It's really technical metal. The guitar soloing that Trey is doing is absolutely incredible. You can't hear it so much on some of these mixes, but if you watch his hands, it's just unbelievable what he's doing. And I'll take what's his name? Dave Lombardo. I'll take his double bass drumming any day. And Scott Ian is a second guitar player for this band. It just fits. It just fits. Watching Scott and Trevor Dunn, there is some incredible finger work that Trevor does on his precision bass. It's really something to see. And then you have Mike Patton fronting this. So they've got covers in here. They've got stuff that goes against the grain of what they're doing. They're doing some easy listening covers in here. And they're not necessarily catering to the audience, but they don't have that attitude that they had on their second tour. Okay, where they were, it was just a huge middle finger and it was contempt for the audience. That's kind of gone. They're much more comfortable in this performance and everyone knows what they're there for, pretty much. So this sentiment that's on the internet right now of, wah, 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 I want pink cigarette. I want Gollum 2 Bionic Vapor Boy. These are Mr. Bungle fanboys. These are people, these miserable freaks in the comment section. These are kids that live on the internet, ruining it for everyone else. I've got to tell you, the Mr. Bungle reunion has been an overwhelming, smashing success. These guys are playing some of the most aggressive thrash style metal that is in circulation today. as far as live bands performing this stuff. They're out there carrying the torch for this genre of music, and they're doing it really, really well. These performances are off the chart, spectacular, mind-blowingly good. This is some really good aggressive music. It's the top cream of the crop that you're going to find of this stuff. So if you have a chance, I have not seen this. Like I said, I did the pay-per-view. I've watched them a bunch on all the reunion shows that I can get my hands on. I've watched all the YouTube content. It's just that when they came to Chicago, I had tickets. Mike canceled. He was not well. I had tickets for the show with Fishbone. And now they returned, and it was at Riot Fest, which is expensive. It's an all-day thing in the city, which I'm just unable to do that. You guys got to understand, I'm here in a recliner. I have barely enough energy to get up and go to the bathroom and come back, and then I'm paying for that because my back hurts so bad just from getting up to go take a leak. But that's my life. So if you're curious, what does Petey Two Finger think about the Mr. Bungle reunion? I'm all for it. And I would say, perhaps Patton could have foresaw this and, like I said, whip out some kind of freaky version of Holy Filament. What was the other song I was saying they could have done off the second album, Merry Go Bye Bye, which has Anarchy Up Uranus in the middle of the end section, so they could have done that. They could have tried to pander to this audience by giving them a little bit more of the stuff off the Warner Brothers albums, but they didn't. They did Mr. Bungle, Raging Wrath of the Easter Bunny in its entirety, flawlessly. And then they did easy listening covers. And this is exactly what I would expect from Mr. Bungle. So I got to give these guys a hats off. I got to give them a double thumbs up. This is what it's all about. And hats off to the people that have been sharing these shows, because this is stuff I will enjoy for the rest of my existence. I love watching Mr. Bungle perform live, and there's some great performances out there, including, see, they took it down. The first show that they did was this. And Neil Hamburger's set was the best Neil Hamburger set I ever saw. And it was up in its entirety, and then they took it down. I am so pissed at myself for not grabbing a copy of it while it was up. But was it at the Fonda Theater? I think it was. I think it was this Thursday show. It might have been. It may have even been the New York show. I just know it was one of the first three shows. Neil probably did the same set. Somebody, I think it was no, it was the Fonda. It was L.A. Somebody had that up there, and that set was the best Neil Hamburger set I ever saw. So there's a little bonus for you, fans of Mr. Bungle. There's a little extra tidbit for you guys, you real deal fans. Did we look at all of these pictures yet already? I think we did. So yeah, that's Petey Two Fingers' take on it. They did exactly what I expected them to do. I would not expect them to pander to the audience. And as far as people complaining because they wanted to hear Pink Cigarette, I don't know what to tell you. This is Raging Rat the Easter Bunny reunion. Maybe you didn't know about that and you never listened to it because the tape was icky. But this is their roots. This is what when they started, this is what the type of music they wanted to make. And personally, I think this is just about the coolest thing they ever possibly could have done. Is it the Mr. Bungle that you want? No, it's not. Is that ever going to happen? Well, we'll see. I heard that Bar McKinnon of Umlaut fame recently had a meeting with these guys. So we shall see. Anyway, you guys take care of yourselves. Try to stay warm. It's getting chilly out there. Remember whose birthday is coming up. You want to send gold ingots, bullion, diamonds, firstborn children.
We don't want children.
Hug your pets and peace.